So to speak about another invaluable data point, customers' payment behavior, we would like to call on stage Mr. Marvin Lorelia. Marvin is CRIBIS' very own Senior Business Development Manager. Marvin has been in the business information sector for over 5 years. His experience extends from anticipating market trends, identifying potential partners to complement CRIBIS' core product, and growing customer portfolio by leading and executing fantastic sales strategies. Here to speak about how different payment behavior of companies in Asia and North America may affect your business, please welcome on our digital stage, Mr. Marvin Lorelia. Hi Marvin, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Again, good afternoon to all our attendees and to my fellow speakers. Again, my name is Marvin, part of the business development team of CRIF Dun & Bradstreet, Philippines. Today, I will be presenting to you the latest payment study curated by CRIBIS. CRIBIS is a part of the CRIF group and is specializing in the supply of financial and business information in Italy and abroad. Now, the data presented in this payment study came from the information held in Dun Trade program globally and analyzed by CRIBIS, which is part of the Dun & Bradstreet Worldwide Network. And just to give a bit of context, Dun Trade is a program for exchanging and sharing information on your partner's customers' payments habits, and the partner company supplies information on the accounts receivable aging report. In exchange, you will receive a comparative analysis of these habits and also your potential customers. The valuable insight in Dun Trade or in this report can really help you in onboarding new customers, identify markets, and match them with your existing customer portfolio. This can also help you evaluate your credit management processes on a granular level, and also this would help you understand a deeper behavior of your customers in various regions, which is very timely in our topic today. The payment study published with the data of up to December 31 of 2020 is aimed at outlining the international picture of payment practices with a particular focus to post-COVID-19 scenario. Last February, we presented a similar study covering data of up to second quarter of 2020 only. And this time around, we have the full picture of last year. Of course, we would like to highlight our market, Philippines, and our neighboring countries in Asia. We would also touch base on North America and provide a general overview of the payment patterns of businesses. If you have business relationships or planning to expand in these regions, perhaps this session would provide you an understanding on payment habits that would help you screen and onboard new clients and at the same time manage your existing client portfolios. So let's begin with the statistics in Asia. So as you see on this chart, this shows the percentage of on-time payments in Asia, or as we all know, the good payers. Now, Taiwan is still the best performer consistently across the Asia region, followed by the Philippines. Next is Thailand, while India is very close. Now the bottom performers, Hong Kong, China, and Israel is consistent in the past 3 years, tallying below 30% on-time payment records. And as we look back at the last report we published using the data of up to second quarter of 2020, which is the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Philippines only tallied 38% on-time payment records. So during this time, if you recall, government imposed payment moratoriums on loans, rent, and even utility bills. As such, businesses also apply the same concept to its suppliers and vendors, delaying payments as much as possible. Now, with the data on hand, it is evident that economic activity has recovered from 38% and ended at 56%. Thailand and India has the same scenario, showing a positive trend, but with the recent Delta variant outbreak, we might see a reversal. On the next slide, now let's look at the other side of the coin. What is showing here is the percentage of late payments of more than 90 days. To understand this chart, we've gathered all late payment records and measure the percentage of those that are more than 3 months or 90 days delayed. So as we all know, we call them our bad payers. Apparently, Philippines ranked worse with the highest percentage of late payments of more than 90 days, followed by China with around 18%, and with India, which is 15.6%. However, if you see the trend, we are improving in the past 3 years. So there's a downward trend, so a bit of a good news there, similar to India. While China, on the other hand, has increased over time close to 18%. Now, the best performing here would be Taiwan, similar to the earlier chart that I've shown. So basically what they are experiencing is just 0.5% late payments of more than 90 days. So this slide, basically, this is just similar to the last slide I've shown, but this is interpreted showing the percentage of change or variance year over year. So let's laser focus to our country, Philippines. And this tells that we are improving year over year comparing to 2018, 2019, and during the mid of 2020, where you can see the increase of percentage of on-time payment records are evident, such as 14%, 12.7%, and 17.7% respectively. So this means businesses have recovered if we look at the full picture in 2020 versus the height of pandemic or mid of last year. On the other hand, a negative variance on late payments over 90 days shows a positive outlook, meaning more businesses are able to pay earlier compared to the previous years. So if you look at the Philippines data, negative 3.7% comparing 2018 versus 2020, negative 2.7%, and negative 9.3% respectively. Okay, so this chart, as you see in the screen, shows the payment analysis segmented by the size of an organization. So considering the payment practices by company size, the micro companies exhibit the best payment behavior, and as the size rises, the percentage of punctual payers decreases. So the bigger the firm, the lesser chance that they would be paying on time. A deeper analysis shows very good payment performances for Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines. So they are the best on-time payers among the Asian market. And again, Taiwan, above all in this area, has the best ratio considering the highest on-time practices and lowest late payments. Thailand and Philippines micro and small companies are very punctual, while on the contrary, Israel is the market with the poorest performance. So let's laser focus now on the Philippines payment analysis by company size. So again, there is an inverse relationship between the percentage of on-time payments against the size of the company. So as you see in the chart, as the business size increase from micro, small, medium to large enterprises, the lesser percentage of on-time payments. So from 67% went down to 32% for the large enterprises. And on the flip side, there is a direct relationship between percentage of late payments over 90 days against the size of the company. So meaning, the larger the organization, the bigger possibility that they delay their payments. And this has been a trend that we've seen in the past reports that CRIBIS released. However, in our experience with some of our current subscribers, we have seen a shift of mindset where businesses are, particularly with their payment performances with their suppliers, vendors, and partners, applying the ESG ratings or or looking at the environmental, social responsibility, and governance topics, wherein as much as possible they would like to have a positive outlook. So we've seen this trend, and some of the companies have already adopted this in our market, Philippine market. So hopefully we might see a reversal in the trend in the near future. So now let's dissect the Philippines data, looking at the sector or the major sectors in the market and its corresponding payment performances. As you see here, the best performing sector is the construction industry, with about 78% on-time payment records, and with the lowest late payments over 90 days with only 8.8%. This is followed by the wholesale trading with 60% on-time payment records with only close to 17% late payment records over 90 days. The worst performing sector is the financial services, based on the data at hand, with only about 30% on-time payment records, and also have the highest percentage of late payment records over 90 days, close to 45%. So looking at this chart, if you are serving these customers that fall under specific sectors, you might want to evaluate your credit management practices or policies, and even your collections processes, since this would greatly affect your cash flow and would also snowball into multiple problems if not addressed accordingly. Now we look at the two biggest markets in Asia, namely China and India. And let's go to China first. Just to quickly give an overview, as you see here, in China, the best performing sector is also the construction industry, almost same with our market, with about 40% on-time payment records and with only 15% late payments over 90 days. And this is followed by retail with 32.5% on-time payment records, and the worst performing sector in terms of on-time payment records is the manufacturing and financial industry and the service sector. So going to India, so the next biggest market in Asia, as you see here, the best performing sector is agriculture sector, followed closely by manufacturing and also wholesale and service sector. The worst performing sectors in terms of on-time payment records is construction, with only 38% on-time payment records. And if you look at the late payments over 90 days, the worst sector in line with its performance earlier is the construction industry. So in summary, overall, the best percentage of punctual payers for the year 2020, consistently Taiwan marked the best performance. Next would be the Philippines, and third would be Thailand. Most markets have declined their payment performance, but there are still outliers that improved by the end of 2020. So as mentioned earlier, we'll also do touch base on North America payment analysis. The reason for that is that because we've seen trends, we see more requests come locally, requesting financial information of companies in North America. Now, as you see in the graph, USA has the highest percentage of number of on-time payment records, followed by Mexico, and lastly Canada with only 31%. We've seen a similar trend in North America in terms of payment performance compared against the size of the organization. Similar in Asia. The highest percentage of on-time payments belong to the group of small-scale businesses, while the large enterprises tallied the lowest percentage of on-time payments. The best performing sectors that we've seen in the US are financial services, tallying about 67% on-time payment records, and agriculture with about 64%. So if you recall earlier in the Philippine market, the financial sector is the worst performing industry in terms of payment performance. So in the US, this is a complete reversal. So we look at also the percentage of late payments of more than 90 days, or as we all know, the bad payers. In this slide, we are looking at USA as the leading performer, or worst performer, I should say, and Canada and Mexico very close with 1.4 and 1.3% late payment records of more than 90 days. So though the trend is increasing if you compare year over year. So, but looking at if you compare North America to Asia, this region only tallied single-digit basis points compared to Asia, which goes as high as 20 to 15% late payment records of more than 90 days. So you see the difference in payment behavior evidently there. We've seen no clear trend on the late payments over 90 days against the size of the company, and this may be due to the fact that very minimal records fall under this category. So the share of bad payers reached the value of 3% for USA, 1.4% for Canada, and 1.3% for Mexico. So to summarize, North America, the percentage of on-time payments for 2019 is 54.9% for the USA, or I should say it should be Q4 of 2020, 31.3% for Canada and 49.9% for Mexico. Punctual payments have decreased for Canada and Mexico at the end of Q4 2020. And the share of bad payers for 2020 reached values of 3% for the US, 1.4% for Canada, and 1.3% for Mexico, with no relevant changes compared to the previous years. So should you wish to get a copy of the latest payment study, may we request you to open your QR scanners and scan the code flashed in the screen so we can list your details and send the report in the coming days. And if you have any questions or clarifications, feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be glad to answer any questions you have or any assistance we can provide your organization in terms of onboarding new clients and managing your client credit portfolio. Thank you very much, and magandang hapon sa lahat.